Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. And yeah, this has been a fraught day. I was pretty busy all day. Much of that with fixing links in the book PDF to make sure that they work, that they bring people to the right puzzles and videos and things like that. So I hope you're enjoying it. If you've had a chance to see that, if you ordered the book, you should have got a receipt email, and you can click on something in that to access the PDF, I believe. Not absolutely certain that's right, but we've been getting a lot of compliments on it, which is great. Thank you very much. Hopefully all the links are working now. Now, I just got a call a moment ago to ask why I wasn't at a bridge match I'd arranged to go to, and that's because I'm a numpty and I double booked it with the streaming tonight. So I could have flown out the door and gone and played bridge, and instead I'm afraid I've abandoned them so that A, I can bring you a video, and B, I can be streaming as this one goes out. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit frazzled at the moment. Let's hope it doesn't rub off on my attempted solve. But if you're watching this while the streaming is going on, then you are amongst my favourite people. All the other 7 bridge players are hating me at the moment. There we go. So apologies to them. Anyway, right, what have we got today? Well, no, what's going on? Well, only 3 days left on the Patreon reward, the PBN Institute. That'll be over by the time we next stream. And it's proved incredibly popular. We're getting loads of answers in now. So a lot of people have worked very diligently to complete that, and whoever wins the prize will be very well deserving, I can say that. Now, in terms of... that's Patreon. We've done streaming, the apps and the merchandise. They're all still available on the links under the video. And Sven's Sudoku Pad, where we released a new puzzle yesterday by Spartan, which has been popular. Do check it out if you have the Sudoku Pad. And let's have a look at this puzzle. This is a joint effort by Sotek and Bremster, two of the more regular Discord posters, and Sotek always joins in the stream, so he won't get a chance to watch this and the stream, watch this as it comes out and the stream. Sorry, Sotek. But anyway, it's an arrow Sudoku, basically. Digits in the circled cells are the sum of the digits along each arrow pointing out of that circle. Yes, these are the rules as written by Sotek and Bremster. I would normally have written digits along the arrows summed to the digit in the attached circle, but hey-ho, 2 3s and a 6, it's the same thing. What I am doing, though, it reminds me, is going back to using tiny URL locations, because the person who said that it was a problem for them has actually written to say it's not anymore. So it prevents me introducing errors, which is always a good thing, and saves my time and yours. And yeah, I think it works okay, but do let us know if it doesn't for you. So there is a tiny URL location for this puzzle, and it's as created by Sotek and Bremster. It's called Sparbath. That's how I pronounce that anyway. And I guess it looks like a whirlpool or something. Not sure. Anyway, the rules are arrow Sudoku, so the digits along each arrow sum up to the number in the attached circle, and normal Sudoku rules. Do give it a try on the link under the video. No idea, as usual, about difficulty. You'll have to judge that based on what the puzzle looks like and maybe the length of the video. I'm going to start now. Let's get cracking. We've got some 3-cell arrows where the cells all see each other, either... well, they're all in the same row for all of these 6. So the circles attached to those must be at least 1 + 2 + 3. So they're all 6, 7, 8 or 9. And I don't think 6 is possible for this one. Why do I say that? Because... yeah, nor is 7 actually. These would be selected from, in the case of 6, 1, 2 and 3. That's what they'd have to be made up of. But these are 4 cells in the same box. So they can't be 4 cells selected from 1, 2, and 3. They all have to be different. Similarly, if this was 7, they'd have to be from 1, 2, and 4. So that is not 6 or 7. Exactly the same applies on this symmetrical arrow down here. Yeah, watch out. All of the arrows are symmetrical, but actually that looks symmetrical to that one, but isn't, because that one starts in column 2 and that one starts in column 9. Anyway. Now, 8 or 9 here. Can we work out, if it was 8, does that break somehow? These couldn't be the same makeup for exactly the same reason as we were talking about with 6 and 7. So they couldn't both be 1, 3, 4, and they couldn't both be 1, 2, 5. So if this is 8, one of these is 1, 3, 4, and the other is 1, 2, 5. So there's a 1 in those cells and a 1 in those cells. So there isn't a 1 in these cells. And in fact, that must be the 1 in box 1. But I think that could work. Yeah, if that was a 1, then this could be, say, 2, 5. That would have to be 3 or 4, because the 1 on this arrow would be there. That would stop this being a 1, 3, 4 arrow, but it could be the same makeup as that arrow. Yeah, that works all right. So I thought I might be able to rule out an 8 here by the contents of these arrows, but I think what I've concluded is that as long as that arrow and that arrow are made up of the same digits, this can be an 8, which, well, it's not what I was hoping to find, to be honest. I think I'm on the wrong track. I have briefly, by the way, considered the old Phistomefel ring, because almost all of these cells are on arrows. Oh, maybe that is relevant. Because, yeah, these two cells are high. But that doesn't necessarily make them those two cells. Sorry, I'm not explaining the Phistomefel ring background, but if you understand, what I am going to do is put my silly phone on silent as it's alerting me to something I don't need. Yes, what I was going to say is, if you know the Phistomefel theorem, you'll know that the contents of those cells equate to the contents of these ones. Oh, maybe it's helpful. Okay, I hadn't planned to do that. Let's explain that. Why is that the case? Let's colour these purple and these green. There we go. So why do those groups have to be the same as each other? Well, one very nice way of looking at it is by considering these cells that I'm going to make orange. So if you consider boxes 1, 3, 7, and 9, and you take out the orange cells from them. Sorry, let's start with the idea that boxes 1, 3, 7, and 9 obviously contain 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9. That's the rule for a box. So take out the orange cells, and you're left with these coloured cells. Let's also take out these 4 cells, the sort of corners of the ring, to leave us with the purples. Now, the other way of thinking about this is columns 3 and 7, rows 3 and 7, also contain 4 lots of the digits 1 to 9, except that these corners of the ring remove one of each of those digits because they overlap. Now, if you highlight those and then you take out the orange cells, again, exactly the same from 4 sets of the digits 1 to 9, and you also take out one of the additions of the corner pieces, then you get left with the green cells. And by that logic, the green cells must be the same as the purple cells. They are the same digits. Now that is interesting here, and I can see why now. So let's just get rid of the colours. No, actually, that's silly. Let's get rid of the orange. Let's leave in the green and purple. And we know that the green cells are the same as the purple. And look, we've got 8 or 9, 8 or 9, and an 8. Now, that's going to mean only 2 of those cells can be 8 or 9, obviously. Where else can 8 and 9 go in this ring? Never on a 3-cell arrow, because that would always have to add up to at least 10 with an 8 in it. So maybe on a 2-cell arrow, if that was a 9, you could put an 8 on one of these. I suppose maybe that is happening. I'm changing my mind. I'm changing my mind. I'm going to abandon the Phistomefel ring theory. We might come back to it. I often have to. Okay, sorry. Let's just do ordinary arrow Sudoku thinking. And let's say, let's think about, well, column 3 and 7. They've got a lot of arrow cells in them. Got a lot of arrow cells in them. Where do 8 and 9 go? Again, 8 could be in those cells. Well, 8 can't be in this one actually, because it's in a box with an 8. So the only 2 places in column 3 for an 8 are those 2. The only 2 places for a 9 in column 8 are those 2. Oh, even 7 is very restricted in column 3. If I called it column 8 a moment ago, I'm sorry. 7 can't be on a 3-cell arrow either, because 7 plus 1 plus 2 is 10. So none of these, when I say a 3-cell arrow, I don't mean a 3-cell arrow like that one. You could put a 7 on that there and have 2 1s to make 9. But here, the cells all see each other. So that can't be 7. These can't be 7. That can't be 7. So 7 is going to be either there on this arrow or here. So those are the possible cells for 7. And I bet this applies all over here as well. It does, look. So you can only have one of 7 or 8 there. So that is from 7, 8 or 9. This is from 7 or 9. This must apply here. That can have an 8 or 7 on it. Indeed must, because these 2 must also have 7, 8 or 9 in them. So this is either 8, 1 or 7, 2 or 7, 1. And this is 8 or 9. Same is true here. And this is 8 or 9. It doesn't help with the Phistomefel thing, actually, because they could both have 8, 1. Yeah, that doesn't do it. But I feel we're getting to this now. Now, if that's an 8, then that has to be an 8. Then we get a 1 here. Oh, we get a 1 there, a 9 here. With a 1 there, this arrow has to be 2, 3, 4. Ah, yes, brilliant. Yes, this fails. Like 8 here fails because you have to have an 8 there. It's the only place it can then go in column 3. That gives us a 1 here and a 9 here because of 8, 1. That 1 means that this arrow has to be 2, 3, 4. And now in this box, the smallest digit you could have here is a 5. Well, 5 plus 2 plus 1, the minimum it could be, takes you up to at least 8. Oh, could this be a 9? I thought this couldn't be a 9. Oh, but if that's an 8, it can be. It does work. Right, sorry. I thought I was onto something there. I need to think about 9s again then. It's got to be more helpful this side because of the given 8. Oh. Whatever digit this is, where does it go in box 2? Can't be there. It's too high to be on one of these arrows, so it must be in one of those. Same's true here. That must be in one of those. If that's an 8, obviously that's an 8. This becomes 1, 7, and that becomes 9. If that's a 9, I don't know, it doesn't quite have the same power. Oh, whatever these 2 are, they're too high to be on these arrows. So they must be these 2 cells. Oh, I'm going to colour them. Orange and purple there must be orange and purple there. So that is from 7, 8 or 9 as well. In fact, it must be 7 or 9. And we've used up 8, 7 and 9 in the bottom row. I've thought about this puzzle 3 totally different ways now. I think, I don't know, am I on track? I honestly have no idea. If that's an 8, then that's an 8. Yes, this is what we were doing. We would have 1, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 here. That would have to be 9. Oh, there must be a way of seeing this through properly. The third one of 7, 8 or 9 in this box has to be in one of those cells. So that's not 7, 8 or 9. That's not very interesting. This is in one of those 2. So's that. This works exactly the same up here. So we use 2 different colours, red and yellow for those cells. Red and yellow there are red and yellow there. So that's not 7, 8 or 9 either. No, I don't know that. That's not necessarily true. This is about high numbers though, isn't it? Where are they going to go? Oh, this 8 or 9. It can be an 8 there. That's the frustrating thing. I'm missing something here, aren't I? Oh, maybe... if that's an 8... Yes, that's interesting. This doesn't work. If that's an 8, that has to be an 8, because where else can 8 go in box 8? Has to be there. They would both be 8s, but now the problem is with 1s. This would have to be a 1-7 pair with a 1... Oh no, I was going to say a 1 here, but this could be a 7. Well, you couldn't have a 1 there because you'd have to have a 1 on that arrow with an 8 there. Oh, you'd have to have a 1 on this arrow too, which would make that 2, 7. So if that's an 8, that's a 9. Oh, well, this does break down, but it's a bit complicated. If that's an 8, you need a 1 both on that arrow and that arrow. The 1 on this vertical arrow means that's a 2-7 pair. That's all it can be once there's a 1 being used there. If that's a 2-7 pair with an 8 here, that's a 9. That 8 has to go there. The 9 has to go here. And suddenly, because that's an 8 and that's a 9, both of those have to be 7, which is impossible. So that is a bit complicated, but it gets it done. There may be an easier breakthrough than that. But anyway, this is not an 8. Gets us our first digit in the grid. That's a 9, which is the less helpful possible digit. It means one of these 2 is definitely a 9. 9 can't go in those cells because they're on arrows that are length more than 1. And now it can't be in those cells. So one of these is a 9. One of these is a 9. We know which one it is because it can't be here. So that's a 9. Now, does that mean this is a 9? Not necessarily yet. This has become a 7-9 pair. I'm not using that. I can't find a way to use it. So if that's 8, that's 9. If that's 8, do we have the same sort of problem with ones that we had over this side? I think we probably do. Let me try and work it out again. If that's an 8, oh no, it's not so constrained because that is there. If that's an 8, that has to be an 8. That's a 1, that's a 9, that's a 7, that's a 9, that's a 7. Then we get 8 and 7 here. So if this is an 8, then there's got to be a 1 in all of these arrows. A 1 on that arrow means that's a 2, 7. Yeah, this does work. If that's an 8, there's a 1 on this arrow, which means that's a 2, 7, which puts a 9 here, and suddenly 7 there, 9 there, and 8 there are all looking at that cell, making it impossible. So that's not an 8 either. Slightly different reasoning that would probably have worked here as well. Anyway, we get a 9 here. All of the arrows I'm finding in 9s, whereas 8 would be more helpful. Never mind. This must be 9 in row 3. All of the circles are becoming 9s. Now, that's not a 9 anymore. 8 or 7, and that's got 8 or 7 in it, so 9 in column 3 is here, so that becomes a 7. That must be a 7, and that must be a 9 because of the shading in purple and orange or whatever it was. Let's get rid of that now. That and that are the same. So those remaining yellow-red cells are the same. And I'm still only getting 9s in the circles. This one can't be 9. This one can be. Not many circles left to fill, actually. 7 there, 7 there. This can't be 7 because those would have to be at least 1, 2. So 7 is in one of these 2 cells. Definitely in one of these 2 as well. Just a quick look back at the Phistomefel ring. Those 2 are the same as those 2. Got an 8 to put in it, so this can't be 7, 2 anymore. So sorry, that's been obvious for a while. It's 1, 8 now. And 1 has gone from this arrow, so that's 2, 3, 4. So what's this? This is a 5 or 6 going with either 1, 2 or 1, 3. So the 1 has been used in this box, so those can't use a 1. That's another 2, 3, 4 arrow. So again, these 2 arrows are the same. I suspect they will be here, but we haven't proved that yet. This can't be a 2, so that's not a 7. No. No, that hasn't quite proved anything in this column. Now, is this... That's 5 or 6 in column 7 because we've used up 1, 2, 3 and 4 there. So again, just like down here, 5, 6 goes with 1, 2 or 1, 3. Oh, and that can't be a 1 anymore, therefore. That's 8. That's 1. 8. Those can easily be 8s, but they could still both be 7s with a 7 there. Now, 1 can't be here. That's not surprising. Oh, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad. So that's a 5, 6, 8 triple. So that 9 is made up by 3 numbers from 1, 2, 3 and 4. So yeah, again, it's 2, 3 and 4 with a 1 there. Does that help? That 1 fixes the 1 up at the top here, puts it there. Sorry, misprint. There we go. There is a 1 here, so one of these 3 is a 1. That's really not helpful. This can't be 7, 2. Nine is in one of those 2 cells in column 1. That's been available forever. And in one of those 3 in column 5. Oh, come on. I must be able to do these arrows now somehow. Ah, yes, look. This can't be 2, 3, 4, can it? Because that would break this cell. That's rather pretty. So this includes a 1, therefore. There are only 3 possibilities for a 3-cell arrow adding up to 9. And, well, for one in which they all see each other. And that's 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5, or 1, 2, 6. So now we know there is a 1 on that arrow. Therefore, this is a 2, 7 sum down here. 2, 7, that's not a 2. Now, this adds up to 9 without a 2 in it, so it's 1, 3, 5. So that makes this a 4, makes this an 8, and that a 6. We can colour our last cell there, 8. Right, now 6 there, that's a 1, 2 pair. This has to be at least 3, 4, which would require a 2 there. So I think it must be 3, 5 with a 1 there. Again, yes, these 2 arrows were the same constituents as expected. That's not a 2. 7, 9, 2, 3, 4. So that's not a 7 anymore. Ah, can this be a 5? No, it's got to be either 1, 5, 6 or 8, but even a 5 is too high because those 2, to keep this down to 8, those 2 would have to be 1, 2, and we've used the 2, so that has to be a 1. This is a 5, 6 pair looking up here. These have to be at least 3, 4. In fact, oh, they can't have a 3 on. Oh, no, they can have a 1 on. Yes, right. They can't not have a 1 on because then they'd have to be actually at least 4, 6, which would bust this up to 11. So they've got to have a 1 on. It's there. I thought I'd broken it for a moment, which was upsetting. This is 4 or 6 now, making this 6 or 8. Those don't have a 4. 2, 3, 4, 9. So these are from 5, 6, and 8, which is a triple. So these are from 2, 3, and 4. I haven't looked at these arrows much, and I'm not sure. That can't be an 8. Not sure if they give. Oh, this is a triple. 4, 6, 7. Right. So that fixes 5 and 3 there. This becomes a 2. That fixes 3 and 2 down here. 3, 3. One of those is a 3. Oh, look, yes, this is a 3, 5 pair because of that 3, 5. So I know which way they go. 4, 7 pair there. 2, 6 pair here. 4, 7 pair here. 5, 6 pair there looking at that cell. I should have seen that before. That's 4 or 7. These are from 4, 7 and 9, and one of them's a 9. Now what about this then? Oh, can that be a 6? I'm sure it can't. No, we've used up 1 here, so that's a 2. Now we don't get to use another 1 here. So we're at least up to 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. It can't be a 2, 3. In fact, they can't both come from 2, 3 and 4, or we'd have 4 cells selected from those. So we must have at least a 5 here. So it must in fact be a 2, 5 pair. We know the order. And they add up to 9. So we get a 9 there. Now we know that can't be a 9. We can put 9 in box 4. In fact, we can put 9 in box 5 and finish off the 9s. 2 has been used, so that is a 3, 4 pair. We get 2 there. Can take 2 out of there. Where does 2 go? It goes down here. It's a 1, 2 pair. Trying to tidy up. I think that's got rid of all my corner marks. Now, 6, 7 and 8. That is 7 or 8 still to go here. 5 is looking across there. Oops, I'm in the wrong mode. There we go. 3 is looking back at that. 4 is looking back across to there. And 7 is now looking at that. So we've got a 1, 2 pair on these arrows, and they're both adding up to 9. So they must go with a 7, 8 pair on the arrows, and they can be filled in. There we go. Lovely. So 6, 7 can be done here now. 4, 7 at the top. This is a very neat puzzle, isn't it? Really, really clever the way that's come together. I don't think I've been, I'm sure you can point out lots of areas where I could have been quicker, but that has been a pleasurable journey. 5, 6 pair there, 3, 4 pair here. This must all unwind somehow. 5, 6 pair. Oh, the only place for a 3 in this column, I can see that now. That fixes 3, 4, which fixes 3, 5, which fixes 5, 6, which fixes 5, 6. Suddenly we're down to 1 triple to do. 6, 7, 4. There we go. That is a really neat puzzle. I wonder, should I have persevered with the Phistomefel ring at the beginning? It ends up with a 2 9s, an 8 and a 7 on it. No 6s. I don't know, I'm not sure if these boxes were that helpful about it. We knew these were going to be big, and that was given. Probably not that helpful. I'm glad I abandoned it, but really interesting puzzle. And thanks so much to Sotek and Bremster. Really enjoyed that. Hope you've enjoyed everything going on the channel, whether it's streaming, the apps, the book, the merch, whatever. And hope to see you again tomorrow for more Sudoku fun. So bye for now.